we have got to talk about Nathan Wade, the randy prosecutor down in Fulton County, Atlanta, who decided to have an affair with his co-prosecutor on the case, Fani Willis, and his rehabilitation tour on the media. Only too happy to help MSNBC's Joy Reid just the other night. Now, to folks who have not been closely following this case, those poor folks would have walked away very confused after this interview and maybe even feeling sorry for Nathan Wade and for Fani Willis, given how Joy Reid framed this story.
The reason there's no trial date in Georgia is because a lawyer for one of the defendants, Mike Roman, who worked for the Trump campaign, found a novel way to stall it. One that didn't involve the criminally accused Donald Trump, but did involve, actually it devolved into a salacious sideshow about a black woman's personal life. It was an attempt to have DA Fani Willis removed because of an alleged improper romantic relationship with a special prosecutor she'd hired, Nathan Wade. And just like that, the focus shifted from Donald Trump trying to overturn his loss to the judgment and character of Fani Willis over a consensual workplace romance.
Okay, for those of you keeping track at home, it is not okay to talk about a black woman's personal life, but it's fine to have testimony about whether a former president, white man, was wearing a condom when he allegedly banged a porn star. Got it? Joy Reid's rules, we're just playing by them. Not surprisingly, time and time again, Joy Reid failed to call out Nathan Wade when his narrative did not add up.
You were brought into the case, and you came in November 1st, and this was after, there was the investigation. There's a special grand jury that then gets impaneled in May of 2022. At the time that you were brought on to the case, from then through the time of the grand jury, before you were brought on, did you have a personal relationship with, or a personal intimate relationship with DA Willis?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Our relationship was professional. Our relationship grew organically over time. It was something that was not deliberate or intentional. I made the statement earlier that workplace romances are as American as apple pie, right? That was not to make light of the situation.
Apple pie. Just a red-blooded American man who couldn't keep his hands off Fani Willis. Absolutely no romantic relationship, he says. Absolutely none. Prior to the grand jury being impaneled in May of 2022. That's what he just said. That'll come as news to the old version of Nathan Wade, who testified under oath at the hearing to have him and Fani disqualified from the Trump prosecution in Atlanta, when he said, that old Nathan Wade, that his affair started at least 2 months prior to May of 2022.
When did your romantic relationship with Miss Willis begin?
2022.
When in 2022?
Early 2022.
So you were appointed in November of 2021?
Yes, ma'am.
And your relationship started early. What's early? January? February?
Around March.
Around March. Even his lover, DA Fani Willis, put the date months earlier than Nathan Wade is now telling Joy Reid.
In November of 2021, I hired him. I do not consider our relationship to have become romantic until early of 2022. Because I don't know a date and time, I'm saying sometime between February and April of 2022, and very early April of 2022, because I know that trip that I discussed with you was like the first week of 2022, that the relationship had become romantic.
Okay. The point is he's still lying. They lie because they know they've done wrong, and he continues to lie. And even a journalist at all, you don't even have to be decent, just do your basic job, journalist would know to ask these questions and would have her facts ready, madam. Of course, all of these dates are lies. They're obvious lies because we know from their many texts and overnight visits, long before he was hired in 2021, that these two were having an affair while Nathan Wade was still married, well before she even hired him. They're just allowed to spew their lies with impunity on MSNBC. There was little to no pushback when he skirted questions, no pushback on well-documented lies in his divorce documents under oath. And adding insult to injury, Joy Reid and Mr. Wade decided the judge's order decrying, and I quote, the odor of mendacity that Wade and Willis's testimony left in the court was really code because it was actually about race.
He didn't have to add it. He could have simply said, I find for the district attorney she can remain on the case. But he added some additional comments about the odor of mendacity and other things. Do you think that was unneeded?
I don't think that it was necessary. I think many legal analysts and experts have said that. That entire piece of his order was, I think, just to prove a point. Judges have a tough job. Sometimes personal feelings come out. An odor of mendacity, in all fairness, could come from a lack of understanding. We could have cultural differences. I may not understand why a certain culture does a certain thing. So it could be suspicious to me.
Right.
So we'll give him that benefit.
Cultural differences. Lack of understanding. It was personal. That's why Judge Scott McAfee said the stench of lying was in his court after they testified. Like, he didn't understand, I guess, how black people cheat on their wives and lie about it under oath. Is that his point? Is that a black thing, sir, that this poor judge just didn't understand? What are you saying? He didn't get how black men go and hang out at Porsche dealerships from midnight to 5 a.m. when they're closed, and most definitely are not at the home of their extramarital affair partner, who they then text as soon as they return home. Was it poor Judge McAfee's personal feelings about you that made him assume those things? Was it cultural differences that left Judge McAfee thinking maybe Nathan Wade and Fani Willis were the liars, those two, and not Robin Yurti, who said they started their affair years before. In 2019, she said it started, years before they admitted on the stand, and that she'd seen it with her own eyes and been told about it personally by Fani Willis, who was then her best friend. Oh, wait, she's black too, by the way. Did Robin Yurti not understand these cultural differences to which you refer, Mr. Wade? How offensive. You lied, sir. You lied under oath. We all saw it. You should have been disbarred. And there is nothing about our culture that makes a white judge incapable of detecting the odor of mendacity when it's staring him in the face and nose in his own courtroom. And you know it. That would have been a nice follow-up, Joy Reid, but you didn't do it. But Nathan Wade is always the victim, folks. You see, he's always the victim, even as he was asked about abandoning his spousal and child support obligations.
I'm keeping up with all my responsibilities, contrary to what people believe. I have not shirked any responsibilities. I've paid spousal support. I don't have minor children, so there's no reason to pay any child support. I am doing everything that I am supposed to do and still dealing with the threats that are coming daily.
Oh, the threats. Poor me. And yet legal filings in his divorce case say quite the opposite. We actually reached out to Joycelyn Wade's legal team. Joy Reid, you should have done that after this appearance. And let's just say they do not agree with Nathan Wade's version of the events, telling us in part in an exclusive statement, quote, Mr. Wade continues his campaign of deceit in the media. The evidence will show unequivocally that he is not meeting his court-ordered financial obligations to his wife. And Joycelyn is also adamant in speaking with us that they did not have an agreement to divorce when their youngest graduated high school, as Nathan Wade claimed to Joy Reid. In other words, he was cheating. He was cheating when he bedded Fani Willis, his work partner. Hello. Joycelyn's legal team telling us that's, quote, yet another lie Nathan Wade persists in telling. Phil Holloway is back with me now. Phil, do you believe the nerve of this guy?
Well, you know, the odor of describing that testimony as having the odor of mendacity was, I think, very generous on Judge McAfee's part. It's a lot kinder than saying, you know, I think these people lied in my courtroom under oath. I think they committed perjury. So I guess if you want to be really specific about it, I guess that's what Mr. Wade wanted the judge to have said in lieu of the odor of mendacity. But Joy Reid, by the way, you know, Joy Reid needs to be educated and made aware that when Ashley Merchant raised this issue, she is doing what the law requires her to do, which is to be a zealous advocate for her client. If she uncovers information that the prosecutor on the case has acted improperly and in a way that could result in her disqualification, she has no choice ethically but to raise that issue. Speaking of the divorce and all the pleadings there, I can't wait for the hearing that's coming up, I think, maybe next month, because, look, Judge Henry Thompson, who's handling that divorce case, I've known him for 25 years. Very laid back, very practical man, but how many times can you be asked and made aware, actually, if you're a judge, that somebody is not following your orders before you have to do something more drastic? And so it's apparent from the pleadings that Mr. Wade is not taking care of his obligations, particularly with respect to health care costs that are incurred by Joycelyn Wade. And she now alleges
spent all the money going to see the world with Fani Willis.
She still says, she being Joycelyn Wade and her lawyer, she says the money's still coming in. She alleges in a recent filing that he's not been truthful with the court in Cobb County, with Judge Thompson, in the context of his legal pleadings. So you talk about the odor of mendacity. The odor is apparently drifting over the county lines, because Joycelyn Wade says he's lying once again in his pleadings up there.
No, it's drifting all the way up here to Connecticut. Let me tell you a story about a guy named Leo Grillo. Leo was on a road trip and came across a Doberman. This dog was severely underweight and clearly in trouble. Leo rescued the dog and named him Delta. Sadly, Delta was just one of many animals that needed help, and this inspired Leo to start Delta Rescue, the largest no-kill, care-for-life animal sanctuary in the world. They've rescued thousands of dogs, cats, and horses from the wilderness, and they provide their animals with shelter, love, safety, a home. April marked 45 years since Leo rescued Delta. Delta Rescue relies solely on contributions to stay open. If you want caring for these animals to be part of your legacy, speak with your estate planner, because there are tax benefits too. You can grow your estate while letting your love for animals live well into the future. Check out the estate planning tab on their website to learn more and speak with your advisor. We call dog a man's best friend for a reason. You can help those who need it most. Visit deltarescue.org today to learn more. That's deltarescue.org. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.